All right, let's dive right into a topic that is absolutely critical in any food facility: equipment and utensil control. We often think of equipment as just tools to get the job done, but really, we need to see them for what they are: a critical control point that can either be your greatest ally in food safety or your biggest liability. So, why are we zeroing in on this? Because your equipment, the very stuff you rely on every day, can quietly become a hidden and persistent source of allergen cross contact. It's one of those things that can really sneak up on you, often the last place you look, but the first place a major safety failure begins. And this right here, this gets to the very heart of the problem. It's not the big, flat, easy to wipe down surfaces that keep us up at night. No way. It's the parts you can't see. Think about the hidden crevices, the gaskets, the seals, the bearings, all those little nooks and crannies where allergens can hide out, just waiting to contaminate the next product that comes through. And what exactly is hiding in there? We're talking about persistent allergen proteins. Now, these aren't just little crumbs you can brush away. These proteins, from things like peanuts, milk, soy, you name it, they are incredibly sticky. They can cling to surfaces and survive a standard wash, creating these invisible reservoirs of contamination that are ready and waiting to spoil your next allergen-free batch. Now, this risk gets amplified big time when we start talking about shared equipment. Just think about it for a second. That one industrial mixer, that one slicer, even something as simple as a scoop that gets used for multiple product lines. Without ironclad controls, these everyday tools become the perfect vehicles, like little taxis, for transferring allergens from a product that contains them to one that absolutely shouldn't. And the fallout from this, it can be absolutely devastating. We're not talking about a little trace contamination here. A single, poorly cleaned scoop can compromise an entire production run. And that leads straight to everything you dread: expensive recalls, furious regulators, and worst of all, the real possibility of causing a severe, maybe even fatal allergic reaction. The stakes just couldn't be higher. So how do we defend ourselves against this threat? Let's talk about 5 layers of protection, 5 shields you can put in place. And we're starting with the heavy hitter. Shield number 1, dedicate your equipment. Honestly, this is the gold standard for a reason. It is the most direct, most effective way to guarantee that specific allergens and your allergen-free products never, ever cross paths. As a manager, you're looking at a huge decision point right here. On one side, you've got dedicated equipment. It's the safest bet, no question. It makes training a breeze and practically wipes out cross-contact risk. But yeah, it costs more upfront and you need the floor space. On the other side, you have validated cleaning. It gives you flexibility, which is great, but it puts an enormous amount of pressure on your team to execute perfectly every single time. You're basically trading a bigger initial investment for higher ongoing risk and complexity. Okay. On to our second shield, which is a brilliant and powerful visual defense: color coding your process. This is all about human factors. It's about making the right choice, the easy, obvious choice. By assigning a specific color to tools for a specific allergen, you're taking guesswork and memory out of the equation. It's a simple idea, but it has a massive impact on preventing human error. And here's a perfect example of how this looks on the floor. Just picture it. Red scoops and bowls are only for peanuts and tree nuts. Blue whisks are only for dairy. And your green cutting boards? Those are sacred. They're for allergen-free products, period. An employee can just glance across the room and know instantly if the right tool is being used. It's simple, it's intuitive, and it works. But here's the catch. For a system like this to work, you have to be disciplined. The absolute key to success is consistency. The color for dairy has to be the same in receiving as it is in production and in packaging. No exceptions. And training can't be a one-and-done thing. It has to be constant. Because the moment one department starts doing its own thing, you've introduced chaos and you've just created a massive hole in your defenses. And that brings us perfectly to our third shield: enforcing strict protocols. You can have the best color-coded tools in the world, but they mean nothing if the rules aren't followed. This is where management really comes into play. It's about building systems of accountability to make sure the plans you've designed are actually being followed, every shift, every day. You should really think of this as a non-stop loop of control. First, you log everything so you have traceability. Then, you stick to that cleaning schedule like glue. Next, and this is critical, supervisors are constantly checking and verifying that people are following the rules. And finally, when someone messes up, and trust me, they will, you document it, you take corrective action, and you learn from it to make the system stronger. Every step feeds the next. Our fourth shield is where we really bring in the science. See, it's not enough to think your cleaning process works or for it to look clean. You have to prove it. That's the core principle of validation. Getting hard, scientific evidence that your cleaning methods are actually removing those invisible allergenic proteins, not just the dirt you can see.
Now, let's be crystal clear on this because people mix these two up all the time, and it's a huge red flag for auditors. Validation asks the big question: is our cleaning method even capable of working? That's your one-time scientific study to prove the process. Verification, on the other hand, is the daily check-in. It asks, did we follow that proven process correctly on this shift? That's your ongoing swabbing and testing. You need both. You prove the recipe once with validation, then you taste the soup every day with verification.
So, best practice here means getting specific. You can't have a one-size-fits-all cleaning procedure. The steps for a simple table are totally different from a complex grinder that needs to be completely disassembled. Now, while the source material hammers home these practices, it doesn't spell out specific manager actions or KPIs. That part's on you. You need to define what success looks like and how you'll track it in your own facility. And that brings us to our fifth and final shield: labeling and storing everything securely. Think about it. You've gone to all this trouble to get a piece of equipment perfectly clean and allergen-free. Your job isn't done yet. You have to protect it from getting recontaminated by accident. This is the last line of defense, and it's all about good housekeeping. So what does good look like? It's simple, it's visual, it's organized. Every dedicated tool has a clear, durable label, and allergen-specific tools are stored in their own designated home, away from everything else. The most common failure mode is also the simplest to avoid. Someone just carelessly stores a cleaned nut scoop right next to the allergen-free tools. That one simple mistake completely undoes all your hard work. This quote just sums it all up perfectly, doesn't it? When it comes to allergen control, there is no middle ground. There's no gray area. Every single piece of equipment in your facility is either actively helping you protect people or it's actively creating risk. It's a black and white choice. So I'm going to leave you with that question to take back to your facility. I want you to walk the floor and really look at your equipment, your mixers, your belts, your bins, your scoops, and ask yourself honestly, right now, are they an ally in your food safety program, or are they a silent liability, just waiting for the right moment to cause a massive problem? The answer, and the power to change it, is entirely in your hands.